Okay, so welcome students. Today we are going to study coding question. Like basically these are the most frequent question asked in any interview or in a coding round. So we are going to study a pattern printing. So problem statement is like that. We have to write a program. Okay, we have to write a program to print a pattern with the help of only stars in it. Okay, and the pattern is like that. Basically we have to print the stars like this. Okay, so normally input to these kind of a question, like to input to pattern printing kind of a question, is basically a single integer variable like that denotes the number of line. So the above example is for the number of line that is equivalent to 5. Okay, yeah. So first of all we need to discuss some approach. Okay, let's start. Let's have some more examples to it. Like for n equals to 7. Okay, let's say for n equals to 7. So answer, like the pattern will be like this. 6 and 7. Okay. So yeah, first of all, to start any coding question, you must be thorough with the approach. Okay. So we are going to discuss one approach to this coding question. And this coding question, like the approach mostly works with 80% of the 80% of the pattern printing will be solved by this approach. So listen, so basically we have to keep in mind the three parameters. We have like space, we have line. Okay, space from the left margin, space from the left margin, and the number of prints, like number of print in that particular line. Okay. Okay, so in the above question, like in the line number 1, basically in this pattern printing, this is the most simplest kind of pattern printing question that you can get. So the line in line number 1, we have, in this question basically we have 0 spaces from the left margin, and the number of prints in particular line number 1 is 1. Okay, so now in the second line, we have 0 spaces and number of prints are 2. Okay, now in the third line we have 0 spaces. Basically the concept of space from left margin, you will get more clarity in subsequent questions. Okay, so in the line number 4, line number 5, oh sorry, line number 4, the number of prints, basically number of stars in it basically is 4. Count of the number of stars, you can say. Okay, now this. Okay, so yeah, so now we have to start it. Okay, first of all I'm defining the header files. Okay, hash include stdio.h. Okay, now we have to, as usual, define that is the foremost important, and we have basically we have defined the return type as int, so we will be returning 0. Like if we have defined it void, then nothing, basically nothing will be returning from the code. So as earlier I told, in pattern printing only one input is there, that is number of lines. So first of all I'm writing printf, enter the number of lines. Okay, yeah, now we are defining the integer variable n, which will be taking is as an input. Now scanf, now we are taking the variable from the keyboard. Okay, as it is an integer type, so we have So format as specifier should be percentage D and ampersand N. Okay. Now, so basically now we are taking two variables. Okay, I and j. Basically for line we are specifying that variable with I. Okay, and the number of prints with j. Yeah. So for int I equals to 1, I less than equals to, guess what, we have to basically print the number of 5 times the number of lines, and we are denoting that 5 with n. So n and I plus plus. Okay, now inside that for loop we are going to print the our pattern, or you can say the star and whatsoever. Now this is the most crucial step. Okay, we have to first basically establish the relationship between I and j. So you can see that in line number 1, how many number of prints are there? One. Same number of prints. Like for the line number 2, two prints are there. Okay, so what you can say, the prints like j equals to 1. Okay, and j should always be less than equals to I. Now j plus plus. Okay, and now printf the pattern, oh sorry, printf the star. Okay, and now after the for loop we have to get into the new line character. Okay, yeah. Okay, first of all just dry run it. Okay, let's see what output is coming. Okay, so oh sorry, I have to comment this. Okay, yeah, now it will be working absolutely fine. Yeah, so enter the number of lines, we have 5. Okay, and now see, you can see like number of patterns are, like pattern is printed. And again if you want to run it like for say line 7. Okay, we have seen the example of 7. So okay, yeah, so I believe, I guess, dry run it. Okay, like you should also dry run each and every question site, like you can get a better clarity for it. Okay, so we are taking the example of line n equals to 5. Okay, for first foremost I equals to 1, I should be less than equals to n is here 5 and I plus plus. Okay, now now it will be going into the for loop. For j equals to 1, j should be less than equals to I. Okay, now j is 1 and I is what? I is 1. So j equals to 1 and j is less than equals to I. Here j is 1 and I is 1. 1 is less than equals to 1. The condition is satisfied. So it will be going inside the for loop. Now it will be printing star. Now j will be incremented, j plus plus. Okay, now j is incremented. Now j becomes what? J becomes 2. So it will again check that it will go inside the for loop or not, right? So it will be checking like 2 is less than equals to 2. 2 is less than equals to 1. The condition is not satisfied, so it will be terminating for the j loop. Now it will go back again to the for loop, I for loop. Now I is 1, I is less than equals to n, and I plus plus. Now, sorry, now I will be incremented, so I now becomes 2. Okay, now it will be checking the condition like it will be going to this loop or not. So 2 is less than equals to 5. Yeah, the condition is absolutely perfect. So it will again going into the loop. Okay, now that will again check for the j loop. For j equals to 1, j is less than equals to I, j plus plus. Now j is initialized to 1 and I is what? 2, because I was incremented in the second iteration. So 1 is less than equals to 2, absolutely fine. It will go inside the loop. Now it will be printing star. Okay, now again it will increment it. J will be incremented, right? So now our j becomes 2. Okay, now 2 is less than equals to 2. Yeah, 2 is less than equals to 2, so it is absolutely fine. So it will again go inside the loop, right? So like this it will subsequently print all of our for loop of our stars. So yeah, so this was, I believe, the basic pattern printing question. Now different pattern printing question can also be there, like there can be many variations. Like someone could ask you to print a b c d instead of star, or 1 2 3 4 5 6 instead of stars. So like there's this basic simple variation, like someone or the other can trick you.